Hi everyone, this is Rebecca Gallagher, and this is my Module 5 Open Educational Resources Analysis. I was actually really excited to get this one because I had in the past taken a course this year from my school, offered a little bit of a professional development and introduced me to the OER Commons. So naturally I went to that. I did check out a few of the other ones, but this one I was most familiar with and comfortable with. So I tended to stick towards the Commons because I also found that it was provided things that were easier for me to um, differentiate for my students. So, a little bit about my classroom. It is a life skills classroom, so I am teaching them functional math skills, and that is what I will be focusing on for my overall online project is functional math skills. However, when I first went here, I was typing in functional math skills and I was finding very little to do with like life skills specifically. So I went here and did life skills money was one of the first ones I did. And it came up with a few interesting ones that I kind of went into, and it wasn't special needs. It was more of just the life skill even for higher education. So what I did is I went in and I just went mathematics, and then I did money. And this came up with a ton of results. As you can see, it was 400 results. And then what I did was I went lower primary because most of my students have intellectual disability or autism. So many of them are functioning on a significantly lower level than middle school or high school, and their actual grade and age levels. So when I tend to use in my class the alternative eligible content, I also it is a very watered down versions of the standards that is used by regular education or itinerant learning support. So I tend to look for things that are younger, geared towards sometimes kindergarten, first grade, second grade. With some of my higher functionings, we're doing things on a fifth and sixth grade level. But it's a collective group of 13 kids, and they're all on different levels. But most significant, I have about four that are about on a first grade kindergarten level with their money skills, and then they're supposed to be starting to work in the next couple years. So I have geared my functional math towards that. Anyhow, so I went lower primary, and this came up with so much stuff. And I tend to pick lower primary because there's a lot more hands-on, there's a lot more visuals. Usually there's a story component or a song, and in life skills, that's exactly what we need. So I actually went through a couple of these, and I had a hard time choosing which ones I would have focused on. Um, I really like the Berenstain Bears. I love to bring reading into my classroom, so I really looked at this one, but overall, I didn't settle on this one. I also looked at Money Math here as well, and I'm actually going to pull some of that one up to look at just a tiny bit before I show you the one that I'm actually going to do. And the one I did pick was all the way down here, and it's Just Saving My Money, and it's a little critter based on a little critter book if you're familiar with those at all. So Just Saving Money, it came right up, and it is also, I went down here and checked, it is a CC, so therefore we are able to use it, I believe, on all resources as long as you cite it. And it is an outside of the Commons, uh, outside of the Commons website, which I think is neat that it gives us a little basic summary here, tells you what it has, and then you go to this other site that has everything. So I'll go this, and of course I'll say continue. And then it brings me to a Louisiana, St. Louis site, excuse me, not Louisiana. Um, and it shows it basically you can download it. It gives you a little synopsis. It talks about like if parents wanted to use it. Um, I just thought, let me open it here. So it opens up and it is a 20-page lesson plan with, and it's geared, like I said, towards kindergarten, but that is appropriate for my classroom, even though it's a middle school classroom, it's a life skills. And I liked it because it is using real word terms here, real world. So we're using income, savings, and savings goals. Um, Online for my classroom, they're going to be learning to identify money and knowing how much each is worth. Where do they go in a register? And then as they progress, starting to give change. I really liked how this broke it down. It actually offered another document here as well to have questions while you're reading the story that will gear towards um, those vocabulary words. Uh, I like this because sometimes I don't always think about all the questions, how specifically I should be asking of what I'm reading to gear towards the vocabulary or the specific things that we wanted to learn. And this provided me exact questions of I could use this for reading, a component to add reading to this for their reading goals. So I thought this was really neat and added a specific level to the story and like a little extra resource, which was great. And it was something I didn't have to think up all on my own. Um, I like the essential questions because this, once again, is a real world problem. Why do people save money? It's not a what, it's not a who, it's not a where, it's a why, or a how, or not a how, it's a why, which is difficult sometimes. um, Piggy banks, it has a cutout handouts. I'll scroll down to show you them. I like that it specifically breaks everything down. It doesn't seem to have a ton of prior knowledge, which this is a kindergarten one, so usually it's the first time that they're hearing something. I do a little bit of a prior knowledge because my students are all on various levels, so to know their level and what group they need to be put in, um, I've already done some inventory of skills. I like that they talk about jobs. All this can be like expanded into bigger lesson plans. I can use this for the career, I can use this for life skills, but specifically, this one would be using for my math, my functional math. Um, so it goes through, it's a pretty long lesson plan and it's really detailed. It has a game in it as well, so there is some prep. Little critter stories. So you are reading. So I'm imagining that this one will take a little bit of time to get through, especially in my life skills classroom. I like that it also includes an assessment and instruct the students to do the following. So they're going to draw a picture or write a sentence about the savings, um, write a picture about the job Pat did to earn income. So it has a lot of reading, writing, and math all together, which is something that's very hard to do, I find, for me to find the time to put all that into one lesson. And here you can see it does have some of the visuals. I like that this record sheet. Um, how I would use this one online is I do have this thing called Cami, and I'm able to like turn these into um, worksheets that they could actually edit on their computer and make an actual piggy bank on their computer where you have like the coins and you can actually move them in. I would be able to make this a little bit more asynchronous by recording myself reading the story so that they eventually could go back and watch the story, and not have to have me read it out to them every single time. And as you can see that these are for the game, so you have these job cards, what you do and how you earn money, and that's how they put it into their savings account. And then they create a savings goal. And then here's the assessment. So, and then it goes down here, and I love this. Now, while this is a one that is not Pennsylvania, it still has all these standards and like the Common Core standards. And actually, I was able to go in here and kind of look and see which ones align to my students' goals, even though this is once again a kindergarten, but I can differentiate it for life skills. That was the one that I would pick, and I'm going to use towards my functional math in my Google Classroom. But just wanted to pull up one of the other ones that I really liked, real quick. And this one is just on the Common Core site. I really liked this one, and I kind of kept coming back to this one because it was the first one that actually said anything about special needs in it, at least of the ones that I was able to view. And that kind of drew it to me that maybe they had used this one with the special needs kids before, so therefore I was more inclined to use it. I liked this one because it actually provided digital games online that can be used for some formative or summative assessment, um, which was really neat because my kids like the games, so I tend to use games or Prodigy as reinforcement, so they would see this and they do better on the games because they enjoy them. Um, Overall, I thought that the OER Commons was super cool. um, I had taken a little bit of a little course to it that was only about 2 hours this summer, but this project really allowed me to go through it and see how I could actually use it in my classroom. And I'm actually really excited to try these out. And I hope that you might have learned a little bit from my analysis or how might have found something new through what I said, maybe at least with differentiation and where to look. And thank you so much for listening to my Module 5. And I can't wait to hear some feedback. Thank you. Bye.